Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, the Lost Chevalier, and you're welcome back to Second Circle. Let's continue, shall we? Where were we, though? 1-8... 1-10. This one. So we have already dated Rada. We need now to go Azazel and Justice. Good. Let's go Azazel. Full screen, please. Full screen, please. Full screen, please. There we go. After your debacle at the museum, Azazel sequesters herself to her room for days on end. And if it weren't your communal meal times, you wouldn't see her at all. Although she seems relatively composed during breakfast and dinner, her solitude at all other times of the day, while not barely entirely abnormal, concerns you. The museum was the perfect place for her to gather up a lot of information for her thesis in a relatively short amount of time, after all. But now that she's been banned, you worry that she isn't taking things all too well. No, so one day you decide to check in with the curious angel. You knock at her door, unsure of what to expect. Azazel, come in. But Azazel's just as cheap as ever. Hey, it's just me, Huzzah, Mr. Taker! You came at the perfect time. I have just finished sorting through and organizing all of my notes from the museum. You glance to the side and see 7 neat piles of notes stacked precariously atop Azazel's desk. So that's what you have been doing up all this time? Yep. That's all to our trip to the museum. Thanks to our trip to the museum, I think I will be able to shorten the time it will take me to finish my thesis by about a decade. A decade? That's a lot. Aren't you just upset that we can't go back? A little. But that's okay. I'm just happy I was able to go to get what information I got. Thanks to you, I will be able to finish my thesis 0.000001% quicker. That's certainly good to hear. So, what do you say we take a bit of a break and to celebrate? That depends. What sort of break did you have in mind? Well, there is an ice cream cart in the park that I hear just expanded their selection to 70 flavors. I was thinking we could go there and maybe sample all of them. Perhaps we can even think about it research for it as research for your thesis. I'm sure you will need a selection of frozen treats sooner or later, right? At your suggestion, Azazel's eyes becomes as wide as saucers. She varies jots something down in her notebook before leaping to her feet. The angel dashes for the door, grabbing you by the arm on her way out. Don't just sit there, Mr. Taker. There is research to be done. Okay, we go. I'm going. She all but drags you down the stairs. You just barely manage to snag your keys off the hook of the front door as you are shoved outside. At your back, you catch the sound of someone shouting after you. What in the world are you off in such a hurry? Ice cream! If they have a coffee flavor, you better bring me a scoop. You turn to respond by finding that the door has already slammed shut behind you. Looking ahead, you see Azazel is already sitting in the passenger seat, her face pressed firmly against the window. Sighing, you hop behind the wheel. Soon the engine roars to life and you set your sights for the park. At the very moment you pull in, Azazel hops out and draws her notebook from her belt like some sort of action hero. You then lead the way forward until you hear the ice cream cart's soft jingle calling out to you. There we are. But with Azazel bouncing at your heels, you approach the man at the cart. Lev, I thought you retired. The old man sighs and looks at you with a weird expression hidden beneath his artificial cheerful customer service mask. I wish, my friend. Fortunately, my days are numbered. Oh, hired my replacement not too long ago. She's an odd one, but she will do. In any case, what can I get you guys today? First 2 scopes are on me. You glaze back at Azazel. The angel returns your look with one wide-eyed anticipation. We will take one of everything, Lev. Though the old man raises an eyebrow, he doesn't protest. Coming right up. With that, he begins scooping out dollops of ice cream onto cones and handing it to you and Azazel. As you are watching the man dole out the ice cream, you feel a weight on your back. You can't shake the feeling that you are being spied upon, but when you turn around to look, you see nothing but an empty park. It doesn't take long before your arms fill up with ice cream. Fortunately, Lev is kind enough to provide you with a solution for such a problem, in the form of a cardboard tray which holds all of your cones for you. True to his word, you get the first 2 scoops for free. Sadly, you have to pay for the other 14. After cock off the cash, you and Azazel scout out a nice bench where you can sit and sample all of the flavors. I want one with dulce de leche, please. As you are treating yourself to a hearty sample of mint chocolate chip, the sensation of being watched returns. This time, however, you turn to find the source and are startled to discover a familiar, stout little man standing directly behind you. What the hell? You nearly drop your tray of ice cream as you leap from your seat. Azazel, who had been taking notes of the ice cream viscosity, follows your gaze. Upon discovering the source of your fright, screams as well. It is the guardian of the Renaissance exhibit. He has come to exact revenge. Save the ice cream! Just as it looks like Azazel's going to flee, the man interjects. Please, I mean no harm. I only ask you to hear me out. You and Azazel exchange a hesitant glance. Alright. I came to apologize for chasing you out of the museum the other day. Wait, so you suck us out? How did you find us? That is not important. I think it's pretty important. What is important is that you were right, miss. I was? Yes. And so I was wrong to shout at you the way I did. But I implore you to understand my position in the matter. The claim you made was damning. Something like that can ruin a reputation in an instant. Oh. And with the museum struggling for funding as it is, I desperately wanted to brush off your accusation as baseless, but I just couldn't bring myself to ignore it. You claim needled into my mind to such a degree that I found myself unable to sleep at night, and perhaps that is because I, too, had my doubts regarding the validity of some of those spaces. Quite a handful of them are so rare that I wonder how I even managed to get my hands on them. But that is neither here nor there. What I'm trying to say is that my curiosity got the better of me, and so I hired a forensic art specialist to suss out the truth of the matter. I thought that hearing it from an expert would put my anxious mind at ease. However, much to my chagrin, she confirms right away the piece in question was a forgery. At this, the tearful man puts his face in his hands and begins to quietly sob. What am I to do now? Unsure of what to say, you look at Azazel. The angel frowns, but sits next to the man and begins to pat him in the back. Aww. Oh, this is so sweet. Oh my god. Would you like some ice cream? Azazel offers the man... Is there dulce de leche over there? Maybe this one is dulce de leche. A man her cone. Touched by the gesture, the curator smiles in spite of his tears and graciously accepts the frozen treat. Thank you. I wish there was more we could do. Well, if you would permit it, there is a little more to this story. There is? There is? Indeed. After hearing from the forensic specialist, I grew suspicious. I was certain that I had that piece inspected before approving it for the gallery. So I decided to dig out my old records, thinking that I must have missed something. But when I found the certification for that piece, it wasn't a forgery when you got it. It wasn't a forgery when you got it, wasn't it? Precisely. Now that's a conundrum. Do you think someone could have stolen the original and replaced it with a fake? I have my suspicions, but no way to prove them correct. As I said before, the museum funding is tremulously at best. I'm ashamed to admit that I dug into the last of our budget just to hire the specialist to verify the validity, or lack thereof rather, for just the one piece. Though I believe that some of the other paintings may have been stolen as well, I am at the end of my rope. Without money, I cannot prove these beliefs to be correct. Oh. And I'm afraid that if I were to call the authorities, the news will panic me as a charlatan who deals in fakes. I cannot have that happen. So, you will wonder if we will help you out figure out which of the pieces were fakes. Yes. Though you feel a certain amount of sympathy for the art curator's plight, since the responsibility of slushing out forgeries falls upon Azazel's shoulders, the onus is on her to accept or deny the request. As such, you look at the angel to see what she plans to do. From the look in Azazel's eyes, you can tell that her heart aches for the man just as much as yours does. Before she can open her mouth to accept his request, however, the curator bursts into tears. Through his orbs, you can just barely make out his pleas. I have little that I can offer in return, and I wouldn't blame you for saying no after how I treat you just thus far. But please, I beg you to lend me your charity just this once, and I promise I will repay in kind. Taken aback by the man's sorrow, Azazel looks to you for affirmation. With a nod, you agree silently to help the poor creator. Mr. Creator, please don't cry. We will help you. All at once, the sobbing stops and the man looks up at Azazel with a look of hope. Do you mean that? We do. We won't be able to come today, but we will make time to be there soon. Hearing this, the creator leaps to his feet and hurries to shake your hand. Though tears still glisten at the corners of his eyes, the radiance of his joy quickly dries them away. Anytime will do, really. Just give me a call when you are on your way and I will shut down the exhibit for you both. Will do. I wish there was something I could do in return, but the only thing in my power to offer is a first look at all the new exhibits before they are put out in the museum floor. Typically, this is a privilege reserved for historians and researchers, but will that be something you are interested in? You glance over the curator's shoulder as Azazel's eyes are gleaming with excitement. Yeah, I think we'd like that very much. I am glad to hear it. I look forward to your call. And with that, the curator departs. As you watch him leave, you cannot help but notice a certain spring in his step. Turning back to Azazel, still awestruck by the opportunity that has fallen neatly into your laps, you let out a sigh. It's getting late. Shouldn't we get heading home now too? Can we go to the museum tomorrow? We'll see. Before leaving the park, you stop by at Leb ice cream stand and pick up a scoop of coffee ice cream for Pandemonica. With renewed vigor, you and Azazel find yourself thrust into an all-new adventure. And as you look at the angel sitting next to you, it is difficult to imagine sharing this particular adventure with anyone else. Oh, that was so sweet. Okay, next one in line is Justice. Beautiful, beautiful Justice. Let's go. True to your word, you and Justice starts hitting the gym on a regular basis. I'm recording everything correctly, right? Yeah, everything is great. Perfect. Through grueling at times, the workouts leave you feeling better than ever. With a newfound spring in your step, you decide that it's time to complete some of the more menial household errands that you had been putting off until now. Starting with some of the boxes that are laying around in Modio's closet, you begin carting your old junk out of the cart for donation. As you are carrying a particularly cumbersome box, one filled to the brim with your old model sets and paints, you turn into Justice in the living room. Literally. Whoa there, Chief! Ah! You clatter to the ground in an amazing display of stone-like physical comedy. Then, as if that wasn't enough, the wider tape holding the box together gives way and its contents spill out onto the floor. Sorry, Taker, I didn't hear you coming. It's alright. Here, let me help you clean up. Oh, that isn't necessary. Nonsense, I'm happy to help. Before you can protest any further, Justice is already feeling around to the floor. She places a hand on one of the pieces that has escaped the box. Oh, this is beautiful! This is super cute! Ah! Oh, what is this? It's nothing. Doesn't feel like nothing. It's a little warrior for my Dungeons and Dragons, it seems. You watch with a mix of horror and embarrassment as Justice ponder over the object in her hands. Now, what have we here? A toy of some sort? You know, this reminds me a lot of knights that were all over the place when I was young. I remember children would run around with these little things, wooden replicas of the warriors they favored the most. Could this be one of your old toys from when you were a kid? Not exactly. Oh. It's a model. A model? Yep. Collecting them was an old hobby of mine. What did you do with them after you collect them? Well, you are supposed to paint them. After that, it depends on the person, I suppose. Some people just keep them around to look at. Other people like to use them in games. I see. And what will you do with them? Well, I wanted to paint them and put them up for display, but... You look sheepishly at the figure that Justin has in her hands. Color choice aside, the paint job itself is atrocious. The paint is globed down so thickly that many of the model's more intricate details have been lost. Beyond that, the shading is inconsistent, the freehand work looks like a child crayon drawing, and there is still evidence of glue at the joints where the excess was not wiped away properly. But what? I never got to hang of it. Painting was never my strong suit. So what are you going to do with them now? I'm not sure. They have just been sitting in boxes, cluttering up Modeo's closet since I got back from hell. Maybe someone who's better at painting can strip the color and do them properly. Then oh my god. With a sigh, you begin gathering up the figurines that lay scattered over the living room floor. Expecting Justice to pick it up help right away, you are surprised when the demon does not move. Justice? Looking up, you are met with a surprising sight. Justice is frowning. You don't like painting anymore? No, I do, it's just... Then, why are you getting rid of this stuff? Well, I haven't touched it in a long time, so all it's doing is taking up space. Why don't you just move it all to your room then? I couldn't do that. I could do that, I suppose, but what? I just really don't think I'm cut for painting, Justice. I gotta be honest with you, Taker. It makes me sad to think about you giving up on something you once enjoyed. You say you weren't good at painting, so what? Is there a competition? No. Do you have to be the best painter out there? No, I suppose not. Then answer me this honestly. Even though the paint job weren't great, you still enjoyed painting, didn't you? I did. Then who cares? Pardon? Look, I know that it feels good to be good at something. But this is a hobby, man. You are not entering them in any competition and you aren't selling them for profit, so who cares if you are good or not? All that matters is your enjoyment you get out of the deal. Right? Okay. At the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you what to do here. If you really want to get rid of this stuff, go for it, I won't stop you. But if you ask me, I don't think you really want to close the door on this hobby. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you enjoy the hell out of painting these things, and the only reason you are quitting is because there is this little voice in your head that's needling you and saying that you have to be good at something for it to be worthwhile. Well, I say screw that. Being good at a hobby is secondary. Happiness is what really counts. You find yourself looking down at the figurine resting in your palm. It's true, the paint job is horrendous. But nevertheless, you recall the excitement you felt when you brought it home and took it out of the box. You remember staring wide-eyed at the pieces laid out before you, daydreaming of all the colors you wanted to use. It took you all your afternoon just to paint that one figurine. An afternoon well spent. You're right. I do miss this hobby. And I don't really want to get rid of all this stuff. Then don't. Here, let me help you clean this all up and then we can set it up in your room, yeah? Maybe you can describe to me just how you have painted some of these little dudes. You know then set to work cleaning up the figurines for the living floor. With just his help, it doesn't take you long at all, and soon the two of you are sitting side by side on your bed with a box content laid down before you. Grinding from ear to ear, Justice has the figure of a knight in her hand and is feeling it over with her fingertips. And what about this one? It's red. Just red? Yeah? Well, what kind of red? Is it a deep blood red or a bright crimson? Or maybe it's closer to a soft rose? No, it's not like that. It's a red. Oh, just red? No, there is also some yellow for the lions on its shield. I see. And how about this one? That's an elf sort of character. I painted her robes green. As you watch Justice play with the figurines in her hand, a thought occurs to you. Say, Justice, I don't want to sound rude, but how can you picture what colors are what? I wasn't always blind, you know. You weren't? No, when I was much younger, I could see. Oh, what happened? That's a long story, Taker. Perhaps one for another day. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry. Don't worry about it, Chief. If it were up to me, I have no problems telling you all about it. But since there are others in the house that are involved in that story, I don't want to out their parts without their consent, you know? I understand. Without missing a beat, Justice reached for another figurine. What color is this one? Actually, I haven't painted that one yet. Really? Yep. I've been meaning to get around to it, but I have been a little sidetracked lately. Well, what are you waiting for now? You got the paints and the brushes. Now is a good time as any to slap a coat on this bad boy. I suppose you're right. Let's see here. You rummage around in the box for your paints. However much to your disdain, you find them in bad sorts. Many of the hues have leaked out due to being improperly closed, while others have gone bad outright. Damn. What is it? My paints are bad. That's a bummer. Looks like I didn't close them properly. I will have to restock at some point. Where do you usually get your paints? There is a little coffee shop in town. They got a big wall of paint, so I shouldn't have a problem loading up on new colors. Can I come with you? You would really want to? Of course. We can browse through some of their models too, right? I should expand my collection, shouldn't I? That's what I like to hear. So it's a date, right? Yep, it's a date. Hey! That was so sweet. But this is all the time I have for today. Next one is Judgment and Lucifer. But that will be for another episode. Thank you very much everybody for watching. I hope you had a blast. I was the Lost Chevalier, signing out. Bye bye!